problem I was having is this press in here, in the photo booth room. This press, my old press, was breaking my back basically, and very inaccurate, so I was just basically guessing at the pressure here, and the temperature was never really that accurate. So I decided to get rid of that and step the game up. We've ended up with, as you can see, we're in a fucking mess at the moment, but we're getting there. So this is what we've bought, STAHLS Hotronix heat press. This is the top of the range, the best one they've got. The reason I'm doing this review is I couldn't find a review on YouTube, so I'm presuming I'm going to be one of the first people to do an independent review. Obviously STAHLS and Hotronix, they've done their own view, and Target Transfers have done a review, the sellers of this model, but I couldn't find an independent review anywhere. So yeah, it's very good, but there are also problems which I am going to discuss on this video. So let's do a review on this. I'll show you, it's already set up. It was a bit of a ball ache to set up, to be totally honest with you, especially because this this office isn't the biggest, so this will be moving into the bigger office to give me a bit more space, because I do need a bit more space than I thought with this. So it comes on its own pedestal. Well, you have to buy that separately. You can get feet for it to sit on a table, but I preferred it on the wheels. It's got its own stand there, and then it's got a foot pedal. So the foot pedal is well, the whole thing is connected to an air compressor which is in the back, which I never expected. In fact, let's go in the back, let's just have a look at the air compressor. I never expected the air compressor to be as big as it is either. It's a bit bigger than I thought, so you end up with one of these air compressors, which I've just turned off, but I'll turn it on, you can hear the noise. There's a bit of a noise happening, but what I have actually done, fixing up this room, I've knocked off one of the sound compressors. Yeah, so while working in here, I've knocked off this, so that was sat on there. So if you listen to the sound, let me switch it back on. See, this is the sound. So if you do get one, that's how noisy yours will be, but mine's extra noisy, I was broke it. Right, so it is a Fusion IQ heat press, air compressed, so you get a much more accurate pressure, a much more accurate temperature and time for each thing. So you've got two buttons to press, it does everything for you. The other one was a hand press, basically. It was hard, wasn't it? Yeah. Literally like nearly breaking your back, pulling it down. So this is two buttons in, and you get exact pressure no matter what you've got underneath there. Basically the hand press, if I put a sweater under the hand press, because it was thicker, the pressure was going to be different than a thin t-shirt. Whereas this, because it's air pressure, it stops on whatever your item you've got under there, and the pressure is always accurate and the same. So that is one of the big reasons why I got this. What I'll probably do is go through a full press with it. It's getting dusty in here, isn't it? Yeah. What I'll probably do is go through a full t-shirt press with this. It's really easy to use because I figured it out in seconds. You've got two numbers, so you always pre-press your tees or your sweaters or whatever. So you push it in. Does 5 seconds pre-press, 160 degrees, 41 psi, and then if you swing this open with the foot pedal, this is a bit of a problem. See that? Yeah. I don't like that. But it kind of can knock your design off a little bit as well if you've got your design set. It's all a little bit wobbly, but it's no major problem. Once you've pressed that, swung around after the 5 seconds, you press it again, comes back. It's a bit slow, and that again, it's a bit too rattly. But then it swaps to number 2. And then you've got 12 seconds, double press. You've got 12 seconds to put the sensor, to put the transfer on, automatic release, and then it'll automatically swing away. It should automatically swing after that. So this button here is the swing press. So I turn the swing off, so that basically you're doing it all by hand then, which sometimes is better because it's not rattling around, or you can put it on automatic. So if I press that down now, 5 seconds, once it pops up, it should automatically swing open. Yeah. It only does it on the second press for some reason. the pre-press doesn't automatically swing away, which is a bit of a ball ache, because you pre-press, then you've got to find your foot pedal, move it away, put your design on, arrange your design in place, swing it back. So you imagine you've arranged your design perfectly in place now. That can, all that swinging around. So what I do is generally, I'll do this. I've got the design in place, it's all on there. As I swing it around this way, I catch it just before it ends. That's what I've been doing. So it's not rattling around. That's one problem that I've found with it, but it's nothing major. And then double press, 12 seconds, applies the transfer. As it comes up, it should automatically swing away now. I've pressed that. Automatically swings away. It's a little bit slow, especially when you're using, I use super colour, which is a hot peel, and you need to be fast. You need to quickly peel it off while it's still hot. So waiting for that sometimes is a bit stressful, because I'm printing on good quality items, pure cotton. You have to be fast. Whereas this type of material, it's got a little bit of polyester, they're a lot easier to peel, and you can get away with it being a little bit colder. But on this kind of material, which is 100% cotton, when you're pressing on here, you need to be fast. It seems to cool down a lot faster maybe, and grabs the design a little bit more. Press a t-shirt now on the new press. So pick the garment. Like I said, I'm using really high-end quality cottons, so they're a little bit more difficult to press. I use super colour, which I will do a review on, because they are good, and there is a couple of problems with them, but I'm using super colour. This, in fact, I tell a lie, this one actually is Target Transfers. This is a cold peel. I'd rather super colour transfer. I'm going to put this white transfer right in the centre of this. So the beauty of these as well, actually, the one thing that is even better than the other bonuses on this is this thing at the bottom. I've got a smaller one at the moment. It's got a little lever underneath. Take that out and you can take that off, and you can put all different sizes on there. I've got that one, and then lock it back in. I've got this one, which is for sleeves. Like, so when I'm putting the smileys on the sleeves, you slide the sleeve down here. Leg sleeves as well of pants. And then I've got that one, which I'm not dragging out because it's super heavy, but that's a bigger, just a bigger version of this if you're doing larger prints. But at the moment I'm only doing fairly small prints, nothing bigger than A4, so I don't need that big one yet. So another bonus of this compared to the other one is the fact that it's all free underneath here, so you can slide the t-shirt over. Means you're on, because on the other one I was folding it over that way and I had both pieces of material on the press, where this time what I do is open up the t-shirt, slide it on. It just feels like you can get a lot more accurate with it, because when I slide it on, I line up the seams, get it in the centre, grab the seams evenly, pull it back. You know it's nice and straight. This is the beauty of the two settings now. So you've got number one, 5 seconds for the pre-press. Pre-press for 5 seconds. That's annoying me, the way it doesn't automatically swing after the first pre-press.
It's only the second one though.
It still should swing out of the way, because it still is in your way. So that's out of the way now. Then I put the design on. The reason you do the pre-press is to take any moisture out of the material. No, that's centralised. This is the awkward bit, making sure this is right in the middle of the T. Making sure the t-shirt's level, that's straight, that's in the centre, 4 fingers. I use a piece of this paper to stop any transfer going on the bottom and then damaging the next garment. Very rarely happens, but just in case. Swing this back round with the foot pedal. Like I said, catch it before it knocks your design off, and then double press. You got exact pressure for 12 seconds at 160 degrees. As I've got swings out of the way now. You've got to quickly peel this, but like I said, this is a bit of a ball ache because of my own. See, this is a ball ache because of the how close this is. I find it really hard to. I might have to go longer than 12 seconds and get some real temperature through it. Yeah, that 15 seconds is probably a bit better. And then these, I mean, I'll do a separate review on Supercolour, but I'm really happy with the quality and the way it feels on the garment and how it stretches with the material. I don't want to stretch this because I don't want to damage the t-shirt, but how it feels in general is a lot better. That'll look straight to you. And then I'm going to put a smiley on the sleeve as well. That's another problem that I found with this being raised up, is when you're trying to do a sleeve. With the other one being a desktop one, you could rest it on the desk and have the sleeve just resting here. Because of this drop, I'm having to put a box underneath, so pass me that box, Luca. So what I've had to do is put a box here so I can get the sleeve on, which is not a major deal again, but it's just not as easy as when it was a desktop one. It was a bit easier to do this. So I use these pads, these foam pads. I slide it in because this seam here, so the seam where it's folded over double will affect the pressure on the garment if that's underneath. So to eradicate that, I raise this whole area up with this. Put the pad in, close it, pre-press. One thing I always forget to do is fucking pre-press these. 5-second pre-press. It's really important to pre-press, but it's so easy to forget, isn't it? Design on. Like I said, so if this rattles now, it might move that design, so I slow it down a bit so it doesn't rattle too much. 12 seconds, press. That's one thing I've noticed when you're pressing pure cotton, is to be fast. And you get that little bit of scorch mark, but it will settle down that as the heat cools down. And that is one t-shirt done. Oh no, it's not. I've got to do the inside neck label, which I'll do next. That's another thing you can buy from these, is one of these plates that this comes off, and it's got a small little plate for doing the inside neck label. But it's not too difficult to do on here, to be fair. What I like to do with this is, this doesn't really matter that much, it's only the inside neck label. But what I like to do, line the t-shirt up on here using the seams, getting that in the centre, grab the seams and slowly pull it away when you're doing the neck, so you know you're getting a straight level. But this is for the neck label. It doesn't really matter if it's not perfectly straight. Too fucking slow, that it drives me mad. That's going to put minutes on the process. I might turn that off completely. Line that up in the centre of the back of the neck. Paper on. Same, 160 degrees. It's actually, this is hotter than it says on the packet, but it's working really well. And then you let that cool down, you don't move it, let it cool down for a good few seconds, because that glue now is setting opposite to the hot press. As it starts to cool, ideally the longer you leave this actually the better. Once it's cooled a little bit, I take it off, put it on the side, but it'll cool even faster. So once that's cooled down, room temperature, that just peels off. Much easier. FORmE written backwards so I can read it in the mirror. That's super comfy. Yeah, I like that. That's my favourite t-shirt now. One of the biggest problems we had with having this is obviously fitting the air compressor. Because I'm in a smaller room, getting the air compressor in here wasn't possible. So I've had to put this, but I had to go and buy this extra long cable and custom make this extension. Drill it through a wall twice behind you. So that was a ball ache doing that, and then The speed of the opening, I've turned it off now because I think it's better to just possibly do it by hand, which is like eradicates one of the features of it, but I do think that's probably much more efficient than waiting for this thing. And then you've got the fact that it rattles the shit out of everything. It's seconds, but it bugs me. I like things to be efficient, and I think it's better if you just decompress that, move it by hand, peel, move it back, speed. I think that's much more accurate. So the final verdict on this is 8 out of 10. There's a couple of problems that need eradicating. It's a little bit too rattly when it opens and what have you, and it's a little bit too slow, but I suppose that is a safety feature when you use the foot pedal. And this is all a little bit rattly. It might just be the way I've got it fitted in, and maybe I can speak to Target who supplied it, because they was awesome actually. Their service is actually really good. Speak to you and they're on the phone anytime you need them. You get your own handler of your case, and they've been really good, and I can literally FaceTime them if I want and get them to come and speak to me, and best ways to set it up, etc. So other than that, 100% I would recommend it. I love it, and it's a lot easier on your back because basically you're doing that rather than ragging it down and breaking our backs. We both nearly broke our backs doing it anyway.